strategy is called Vocabulary in Context, Tic Tac Toe. Okay? We're looking for what clues does the author give us. So what you will need is an anchor chart, tic-tac-toe board. Now you can write the clues directly on the anchor chart. I chose to use Post-it notes so that I could reuse it and change them up, change up the order. If you notice too, here in the middle you see other or double. That means that a team can find another type of context clue as we're reading, or they can use one of these word solving strategies more than once. So for instance, if we've already found synonym clues, then as we're reading, if another team or even the same team notices another set of synonym clues, then they get to use this one space. You also need a set of X's and O's. Again, with me, Post-it notes work, but you can use whatever you like, magnets, little stick-ons, whatever works for your group. This can work several ways. It's a little non-traditional as we don't choose the X or the O to go first. It's just whichever team finds the clue first as we're reading. After all of these skills have been explicitly taught and learners are having a good grasp on them, this is a good way for them to continue to practice and look for word-solving strategies and practice using them. So you can do this as a whole group, divide the group into X's and O's, and you can do it with literature circle books, so two different books. This team is reading this one, this team is reading another, and so the X's, as they find the clues, then they can share out and talk about what they notice, prove that they understand what the word means based on the context clue, and then they can take their little X and place it there. Okay? You can also break this down into partners. So if partners have two different books that they're reading, same rules apply, or even the same one, because two different readers may look at things a little bit differently, and they will help each other to learn. If you're doing this as a read aloud, you can say, okay, X's, it's your turn to listen for the clues. But of course you would have your clues pre-marked so that you can share out with the kiddos, and then they can let you know which type of context clue it is. So for example, and I'm using the Snatcher book, Who's Stealing All the Stories. Tales of dragons spitting flames, witches playing spooky games, pirates on the seven seas, princesses trying to sleep on peas, and every child in every bed listened hard to each word said. Eliza Brown at number 3 was reading quite contentedly. So the word is contentedly. What clues will help the reader figure out what contentedly means? So maybe if we look at the picture, she looks a little happy and relaxed with her little bunny. So maybe contentedly means that she's happy. In that case, we are using a picture inference. So if we're the O's, then we can put our little O right here to show that we have found an inferencing context clue. Not only do we use fictional text, but we can use nonfiction as well. This is The Most Fascinating Places on Earth by Donna E. Hicks. All right, so at first some people in Paris were afraid that a gust of wind would blow the tower down before it was completed. The tower was very stable, even though people thought it looked unstable. So again, notice that I've already pre-read and pre-marked where these context clues are found so that we can discuss them. And so we would talk through, what type of clue is this? The tower was very stable, even though people thought it looked unstable. Now remember, all of these have been explicitly taught. So now the learners are thinking through, oh man, that is an antonym clue. Okay, because stable and unstable. They could even say that it was a word part clue as well. Okay, because un is a part that lets you know that it is not something. Okay, so they could choose to do their antonym clue here, or if antonym clues have already been used, they could use other or double. Okay, so an alternative to this activity would be to change this from a tic-tac-toe board to a bingo board. So that means you're going to need 5 across and 5 down with a free space in the middle. As you're doing your read aloud at the end of the day, beginning of the day, or whenever you're doing it as a class, you can pause at any of these word-solving clues that the author gives, identify them, talk about what the word means based on the clues, and then mark a bingo space, okay, each time one is filled in. Okay, so that's just another way that you could change up the strategy, change up the game, and keep it interesting for your kiddos.